In this lesson, I want to talk about solving inequalities, in particular quadratic inequalities. And there's a couple of things that we always need to remember when we solve these kind of equalities. First, we need to check that it is written in standard form. So get rid of brackets, get rid of anything that is a factor, get rid of any fractions. Then we are going to have to check whether there is a negative in front of our first term or our square term. And that is going to determine which route we want to go. Both roots are equal. I'm going to do both branches today so that you can see how it looks. And then when we work out our critical values, we need to make sure that we draw a sketch. Do not forget to draw your sketch. This is very, very important. And also never, ever, ever make an inequality equal. So never, ever write, if it's a less than or greater than, it's not an equal sign. So do not write an equal sign. Let's jump in with this one. Right, so we can see here that this is definitely not in standard form. I am going to now go ahead and first just multiply my x in, distribute my x into that. X times 6x minus x squared is greater than negative 16. Now I'm going to rewrite this in standard form, set it to 0. So negative x squared plus 6x plus 16 is greater than 0. Now I've got a negative in front of my x squared. So now I'm going to factor that out. When I factor that out, my signs inside is going to change. Now, I've got two options. I can leave this as a greater than sign, or I can multiply that negative out on both sides. If I do that, then my sign is going to change. But let's first leave it like this, and then we do the same one where we actually multiply that out. So in this case, I'm going to now factor to get my critical values. So my critical values is negative 2 and 8, because x minus 8 is 0 and x plus 2 is 0. So x equals 8, x equals negative 2. Now, my sketch. Since this is negative and I didn't change my sign, it's going to be a frowny face parabola, negative 2, 8, frowny face parabola. And now I need to go and see where this is true for values that is greater than 0. So greater than 0 means it is going to be above the x-axis right there. So x should be less than 8 and greater than negative 2. And there's my answer. But if I choose the other route where I'm going to multiply out that negative, my signs are still going to change. But now my inequality is going to flip around as well. It's going to become a less than 0 sign. Now the only difference here is as follows. When I do my critical values, or when I factorize, I am still going to get my critical values as negative 2 and 8. But now with my sketch, I am going to have a happy face parabola because the sign changed. It's not a negative in front of the x squared anymore. And now I need to go and look for values that is less than 0. So it's going to be there. That means that x is going to be less than 8, greater than -2.